Hi, my name is Jake Pinero, and I'm here to talk to you about the topic of snowboarding. It is often seen as a dangerous and difficult sport. However, everything is difficult when you first attempt it, such as riding a bike or learning how to walk. Um, I actually have my snowboard right here behind me. It's a Burton snowboard with Burton bindings, and just for reference, these are the bindings right here. These are bindings. They hold your feet in place of the board. Without this, I'd just be stumbling down the mountain to no end. It is my lifeline. Um, when it comes to snowboarding, I have so much experience with it because I have an Icon Pass, and if you don't know what an Icon Pass is, it is a pass that basically you can use at almost every single resort in the continental United States as well as overseas in like places like Japan, Germany, or France. It is actually really, really, really helpful if you actually get into the sport because it just becomes a cost burden, and a lot of people will see it that way. So I have authority on it because it's my passion, and I love the sport. I absolutely love it. Just like I said, everything actually does get easier um, as long as you stay consistent and actually practice at it. And honestly, if I had to recommend any sport to anybody, I say snowboarding is something you need to try. So when it comes to snowboarding, people often don't see um, the people they are actually there as like kind or like outgoing or anything like that, but they really are like a friendly bunch of people. Like I actually have a story from when I was actually 12 years old, when I was actually hitting my first ever run, and I kept on stumbling and falling over many and many times. Along with my family that was riding with me, that was the first time as well, and they were in the same boat I was. I couldn't stop falling, they couldn't stop falling, and just so happens someone actually noticed this while he was teaching his son how to ride as well. He asked me because I'm guessing because I was a child if I wanted to like learn how to ride alongside his son, and I immediately agreed. And I just became, better and better, learning how to turn from him, learning how to stop, and I actually ended up enjoying that day and actually wanting to come back, unlike my family. And could not thank him enough. Actually, he he's the one that basically got me hooked on the sport and actually like willing to come back. Um, and as for other people, such as my neighbors, whenever I arrive at the resort, they're really kind people. They're really kind people. We actually get to like talk to people. I can't even tell you how many times I actually been invited to go get some drinks at maybe the lodge or actually like the barbecue that they're having going on. It's it's like a whole party and everyone's invited. So like I said, helpfulness is what got me into the sport. It's not really the sport itself. It's just like the willingness for people to help. Like without them, I wouldn't have actually like been able to get down the mountain. And I have them to thank for the athleticism I actually achieved from that, such as like cardiovascular health and also strength in my legs and abdomen as well. It is physically demanding, actually. It's a very physically demanding sport. It's so easy to get winded when actually going down a mountain. However, it's actually like beneficial for your health as well. I would say actually that it. I would actually wager to argue that it's actually more difficult in terms of the amount of willpower it takes to actually like um, do the sport. It takes more effort And I would say like cycling. I actually do cycling as well. I have an authority on that as well. And honestly, nothing gets me tired more than going down the mountain. It is really physically demanding. I have to admit that. But the altitude also helps as well with your heart health. It helps your heart actually pump more oxygen throughout your body. Work on less oxygen, and that actually benefits you when you come down the hill. When you're at home, maybe going to the gym or something, it benefits so much because your heart actually gets out more oxygen throughout your whole body, and you don't actually get as tired when you're actually at sea level or a little bit above. It actually really helps. And just from that, honestly, it gets easier and easier and easier. You'll start going down the mountain more and more and more, and as a result of that, you'll start getting even less tired, go on for longer, and sometimes spend a whole day. I've actually spent like a whole day, as well as a part of the night session as well. Other than that, there's also tools you could use to actually make it easier on your body, such as wax. I actually have it coated on the bottom of this board right here. I wax it almost all the time before I go and hit a run. It helps. It helps because it makes it more sleeker. It fills in all the cracks and everything, and it makes it so it takes less effort because you're going down the mountain being faster and more sleeker. So like you don't have to sort of spend too much time on the mountain as you would if it wasn't wax. Another thing is also you get an edge tuner as well to sort of just like sharpen your edges to help you stop easier instead of having to just stop on the snow to actually stop. Another thing that I have to say is that even though it is physically demanding, like you don't have to necessarily just go down the mountain like all the time. There's certain places as well where you can stop and catch your breath for a while before heading down the rest of the mountain. It's not all just one go. But in beauty, there is pain, I'll have to admit, in terms of it is physically demanding. However, when you get the first sight on the top of the mountain, it's like nothing else you ever seen. The view from Mammoth Mountain at the very top, is like an icy tundra with like a foresty feel. It is really, really, really beautiful, and I honestly wouldn't trade it for the world. That is just the most beautiful thing you could ever see. You can see the bottom of the mountain with a little bit of snow just being blown in the wind. Something you see out of a movie. It is really, really astonishing, and people who hike would actually agree with me on the scenery of the mountain views. But I don't know anyone that actually hikes up mountains that are snowing. But yeah, Big Bear is so much more different than Mammoth. They both have snow. However, they're completely different in terms of the landscape. At Big Bear, you can see a view from the top. You can see Big Bear Lake just frozen solid, along with animals like such as deer and hares, and you don't see any bears. Don't even like think about that. You don't see any bears, but there's a lot to take in, a lot of beauty and everything, a lot of beauty in nature, specifically. But yeah. But snowboarding is honestly, yeah, it is dangerous. It is hard to do. However, everything is dangerous and everything is hard. You could get injured from playing basketball, tear your ACL. You fall off a bike and get cuts and bruises. However, That's part of the learning process. If you're willing to take the time and actually put in the effort to learn how to snowboard, I guarantee that you will like it.